Hello lovelies, welcome back to Interpretation of Beauty. This is a channel dedicated to providing knowledge and education on skincare and all aspects of beauty. Today we're going to talk about the good, the bad and the ugly ingredients. If I spoke about all the good ingredients in detail, this video would be 2 hours long and you'd never find the information. Hopefully throughout the videos in this channel, you will be able to learn about the different types of good ingredients, what they're used for, what their prime benefits are, and how they actually change the skin. Today we're going to start with the bad ingredients. These ingredients that are not going to harm you, they're just going to hurt the skin. My first bad ingredient is sodium lauryl sulfate, otherwise known as SLS. SLS has been a sort of underlier for years. It is a product that is used to create a foam. So most shampoos have SLS, and unfortunately a lot of cleansers out there have SLS. SLS causes sensitivity in the skin. It can cause dryness, dehydration and itchiness in the skin. It isn't a known allergen, but myself, if I use SLS on my skin, I get really tight, I get really itchy, I go bright red across my cheeks and across my forehead, and I feel the need that I need to put moisturizer on straight away. SLS is used in beauty products because it is a cheap alternative. If you're mass producing a foaming cleansing face washes, you are going to use the most cost effective way to create that foam, which is your SLS. Another reason SLS is used is because it is a great detergent on the skin. This means that once it is foamed up, it spreads a lot further across the skin and it breaks down that tension between the water and oil that don't mix. So as you foam up the water, it can attach to the oil in the skin and the oil in the makeup and really helps remove debris. So it is a really good cleansing agent. The only other issue is that our acid mantle and barrier on the skin is made up of fatty acids. It is integral to keep out external pollutions and things that cause sensitivity in our skin. When you use SLS on a regular basis, this agent can actually attach itself to your essential fatty acids on the acid mantle and break down the barrier, which causes your sensitivity, causes water loss, which causes dehydration, can in turn, if you are stripping the skin, cause excess oil. So it can cause a lot of different problems in the skin. This can also happen with shampoo. A lot of the times people with dandruff or dermatitis or sensitivity on their scalp, it's because they're using a shampoo containing SLS. SLS is also contained in your everyday hand wash and bar soaps, which is why we don't recommend using your regular soap or your body wash to cleanse the facial skin as well. I'm going to try give alternatives for what I'm calling the bad ingredients. It may not be possible to find products without these ingredients that suit your skin, but there is companies out there that don't use these products and they have found different alternatives that are a little bit more expensive but work as well with the foaming agent. Some of them sound very similar and some can be found in products that used to have SLS as product companies are becoming aware of SLS's tendency towards sensitivity. There are a lot of products out there that don't contain SLS and a lot of the time you'll see them say sulfate free on the front of their product. A couple of different ingredients to look out for that are replacing SLS and that are more beneficial for your skin and hair are, bear with me, these are long scientific words, sodium lauryl sulfoacetate, SLSA, disodium cocoyl glutamate, and then lauryl glucoside. Those are all very similar chemical makeups to SLS. They will attach to the oil molecules in the makeup, the skin and the hair, but they don't do as much damage. These are a little bit more expensive. So if you are looking for a sulfate-free product, you will be looking to spend a little bit more money to make sure you don't have that SLS in it. My next bad ingredient is alcohol. Now, Alcohol strips the skin. If you applied pure isopropyl alcohol to the skin, you would have an area of skin that was really dry, really dehydrated. It breaks down the lipid barrier, which contains your essential fatty acids. This prevents the barrier, protecting you from the external pollutions and things that cause sensitivity. So if alcohol sounds so bad, why isn't it in the ugly category? Some alcohols are good. So, way to be confusing, right? You have your fatty alcohols, which derive from nutritious oils used in skincare products. They can be used to thicken up a product or can be used as an extra nourishment for the skin. Bear with me on the pronunciation of these. You have cetyl, which is a product thickener. You also have sterol, which is an emollient, which traps moisture in the skin. You have ceteryl alcohol, which is an emulsifier, and propylene glycol, which is a humectant, which means that it attracts moisture to the skin. Did you know that vitamin A and vitamin E are also forms of fatty alcohols found in skincare? That's something I found out while researching this, and I think it's fascinating because you would never associate them with being in this alcohol category. But as I said, you have your fatty alcohols, which are your good alcohols, and you have your simple alcohols, which are your bad alcohols. Your simple alcohols are solvents that evaporate, which means that when they evaporate off the skin, they take all of the moisture with the skin as well. This, in pairing with the fact that they break down your lipid barrier, means that not only are you getting transepidermal water loss, which means the water leaving the skin because there's nothing to stop it coming in, there's nothing to stop it staying in, you are getting the water loss from the evaporation on the skin as well. The alcohols to look out for that are the bad ones are your SD alcohol 40, denatured alcohol, ethanol, isopropyl alcohol. They're mostly used in toners for people with oilier skin and gel moisturizers. So just be very aware. Another big form of alcohol abuse in skincare is face wipes. They're going to say they're friendly, they're going to say they're good for the skin, but they 90% of the time contain alcohol, which is stripping the skin when you're using them. So I would advise throwing the makeup wipes in the bin. I would prefer people slept in their makeup than use face wipes. When we are doing chemical peels, we use alcohol as our prepping solution a lot. We need to break down that barrier so that the chemicals or the enzymes you're putting on the skin will penetrate that little bit deeper into the skin and really help construct change. The difference is when a skin therapist breaks down that lipid barrier on the skin, before we finish a treatment, once we have removed all of the peel, our aim is to help rebuild up that barrier again, which is why aftercare is so important when it comes to peels, and that you're not going home and washing with a soap or a solution that's going to dry out the skin. Now onto the ugly ingredients. I knew a bit about these before I started researching this video, and I can't believe that some of these ingredients are still allowed to be put in products that humans are using on their skin to this day still. So just please try to make informed choices, especially regards these, to make sure that you're not endangering yourself. The first ugly ingredient is formaldehyde. I can't believe I'm even saying this, but now it's not regularly found in skincare. It's mostly associated with the likes of your chemical hair straightening, your nail strengtheners and your nail polishes. Formaldehyde is a known carcinogenic, so it can cause cancer, but it is also known to cause respiratory problems in people. Formaldehyde is also an allergen and known to cause skin sensitivity. I have come across a couple of times in my life people who are allergic to nail polish and they didn't know why, and it's probably because it was a nail polish with formaldehyde in it. It is banned to use in beauty products in the EU, but there are still some places in the world that it's acceptable to use it. So just please be careful when you are buying products that are cheaper online, that they're not from a trusted source. You need to make sure you know where they're coming from and you know the full ingredients list in them. My next ugly is parabens. What are parabens? They're a group of compounds used as basically preservatives in the food and beauty industry. Parabens have been linked to a decreased sperm count, breast cancer and skin cancer. The EU has banned 5 parabens and heavily regulate the uses of other parabens. They're commonly found in all beauty products. The downside of using a paraben-free product is that they normally have a shorter shelf life because they aren't using these preservatives. The parabens that have been banned in the EU are isopropyl paraben, isobutyl paraben, phenylparaben, benzyl paraben, pentyl paraben. Again, they're commonly used in products made outside of the EU. So please be aware, normally if a product is paraben free, that's one of their marketing strategies, so you'll know. But you will need to have a little check just to make sure that these ingredients aren't in any products that you are buying online that aren't produced in the EU. Petroleum can be known as mineral oil. We all know that person who uses petroleum jelly on their lips every day. When you ask them what happens, if you ask them what happens when they stop using it for a couple of days, they're going to tell you they can't live without it. When they stop using it for a couple of days, their lips become cracked and sore and painful. Not only does petroleum and mineral oil, which is refined petroleum, clog pores and encourage breakouts, it creates a false sense of security in the skin. So what I mean by that is when you use an ingredient on the skin that penetrates deep, it penetrates the bottom layers of your epidermis, which is your top layer of the skin. Your dermis is the layer below that where we want to create change in the skin. We want if we are having dehydration issues, we want our skin to be giving us more moisture. If we're having pigmentation issues, we want our melanocytes to stop producing as much melanin. When we're having oily issues, we want our sebaceous glands to stop producing as much oil. So we are always trying to communicate with that lower level of the skin. If you think about it, your skin is feeling great on the outside. It's super hydrated, it's super plump, it's got that oily sheen to it. Your skin is intelligent, so it's going to go, okay, we don't need to focus on that area as much. There's always somewhere in the body that needs more hydration, that needs more oil. So what I always think of it like, the skin loses focus on that area because the surface is saying it's great. There's no receptors saying it's sensitive. There's no receptors saying, hey, we're starved for hydration. We need more oil and water. It's going to focus on somewhere else. It's going to send the water to another organ in the body and ensure that our body is as healthy as possible. Then when you take that off the surface, the skin's not focusing on that area. The skin has been told for days, weeks, months, years even sometimes, that that area has been good. That area doesn't need any help. You don't need to boost the hydration in that area. You don't need to boost oil production in that area. We don't need to be looking after that area. So straight away you're removing what has made the skin feel good on the surface, and deep down the cells that are growing up are dehydrated. Sometimes you have a lack of oil there, so you can have a dry, flaky skin. You'll find you get more fine lines around that area. That's why people see the cracking in their lips when they stop using the likes of petroleum jelly. People use mineral oils on their baby bumps to prevent stretch marks. But again, it's doing the same thing. You're telling the skin that it's okay. So the skin's going to listen to what you're putting on it. And if you're putting something it's almost like a band-aid. You're treating the top layer, but you're not actually treating what is causing the issue. We want to use ingredients that are going to penetrate right down and tell the skin what needs to happen, not just put a blanket over it and say it's lovely. And yeah, it feels great when you're using it. Your lips feel fabulous. The skin feels hydrated and elastic and amazing. But nothing is intrinsically going on deeper down. There have been studies relating it to being carcinogenic as well. That's only when it's contaminated with another hydrocarbon, but you can't tell if the petroleum jelly you're using has that hydrocarbon or not. So I would try avoid anything with mineral oil or petroleum jelly. It will benefit your skin, but also it means you can really start listening to your skin, what your skin's telling you. If your skin on the top is telling you it's tight, it's sensitive, it's red, it's oily, it's flaky, it's telling you there's something going on that dermis layer. So you want to be able to communicate with your skin with the ingredients you're using, instead of just pretending it doesn't exist by slapping petroleum jelly on it or mineral oil. My next ugly could fall under the bad category, but what I discovered did fall under the bad category, but what I discovered while researching it made me horrified as well. Is fragrance. So a lot of products will have fragrance in them. You can find them in nearly every single product out there. It can be under the name perfume, aroma, fragrance. And to be honest, I always just thought it was an additive that can cause an allergy to make a product smell nice. So a lot of people are highly sensitive to perfumes. Normally, like even therapists, you can tell sometimes if someone has a little red dot on either side or on their chest from where they actually spray their perfume. So when we were talking about fragrances being bad in perfume, in products, my brain went to alcohol. But I discovered that fragrance is a blanket term, and it can mean any ingredient in a whole spectrum. There's over 3,000 different ingredients that could fall under that fragrance or perfume or parfum umbrella. I won't list them all here, but I'll put a link in the description below so you can have a little read yourself. Not all of those over 3,000 are bad. A lot have been linked to being carcinogenic, causing skin sensitivity, causing allergies. You can get a really lovely smelling product using natural ingredients. For example, vitamin C in high concentrates smells exactly like oranges. Cucumber can make something smell really fresh. There can be a low percentage of essential oil blend even in your product to give it that scent. So just be careful. Again, I know I keep saying this after every ingredient, but just be careful when you're reading the back that you don't know what is under that umbrella of fragrance. So you could be putting anything on the skin that could be a potential allergen on the skin, that could be causing sensitivity, or that could be carcinogenic. Lead. My next ugly ingredient is lead. I can't believe in this day and age that we're still having to talk about this. It is a neurotoxin, so it is shown to cause behavioral issues, learning issues, language problems. It causes hormone imbalance. It has been shown to reduce fertility in both men and women. And it has been known to delay puberty in both boys and girls. There are countries out there who believe that the level is so small it's safe. But scientists believe there is no safe dose for lead. Even the smallest amount can cause the neurotoxicity. And unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see lead on your lip products. You're going to have to do your research and see if the brands that you're using have been found to contain the lead. The tips on the website for safe cosmetics say email the companies that make your favorite lipsticks and tell them that lead-free products are important to you. Use less. If you are a frequent applier, try use less. And don't let children use them. My opinion, professional or otherwise, find the companies that don't have lead in their lipsticks and make sure you're purchasing from them. Money talks louder than words, and if we as a society, I didn't think this was going to be a call to action, but if we as a society can stop companies thinking it's okay to poison people, those companies will stop doing it very fast. So just please be aware that if you were buying lip products online outside of the EU, outside of Canada, outside of Japan, that you could be buying a product that has lead in it. Whew. And now all the heavy stuff is over. Just a little bit on how to read ingredients. So I'm going to pop up here a typical ingredient structure. The way the ingredients are listed on the back of a product is from highest concentration to lowest concentration. Normally you'll see the likes of water, aqua on the first ingredient, which means that most of this product contains this. This is brilliant to know how much of the active ingredient is in the product. If the ingredient is in the last 2 lines of the ingredients list on the product, it means there's less than 0.1% of that product, of that ingredient in that product. And finally, just be savvy with the products you're buying as well. So you need to be a savvy shopper as well. If you normally buy your night cream and it has, it's an anti-aging night cream, say, and it's €40, and then they bring out the exact same night cream, but now with peptides and it's €80. If that peptide they're trying to sell you is the last ingredient, you're paying €40 more for a very small amount of that ingredient. You want to make sure that you're being smart with your money as well. So read the ingredients labels. If you're not sure about something, Google it. It's that simple. While we're talking about checking the ingredients and checking the labels is cruelty free. Look for that leaping bunny. It is a international standard. Now just make sure you're getting the correct logo. Unfortunately, a lot of companies claim to be cruelty free, and they're owned by a parent company that's not. So you're still providing money to somewhere that just because the products you're buying haven't been tested on animals doesn't mean you're not supporting a company that is testing on animals. So I hope I have informed you. I hope I haven't scared you, and I hope I've made you a little bit more of a savvy shopper when you're looking at products to buy. Please like this video and subscribe and share it with just one friend. That will make all the difference. And that's all I've got for you today. I know it was a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Okay, and you're mass producing foaming cleansing face washes. That's a mouthful. A foaming cleansing face wash